Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I'm Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Geek, where I'm about to fight a 100-point Kill Team Arena mission between my Grey Knights and Neil's Thousand Sons. So the story that we've got going on here is the Grey Knights were on this planet fighting off a Tzeentchian demonic incursion that was occurring and had been banishing the demons back into the warp when they received some information that there was a cabal of Thousand Sons operating and moving into this facility here, looking for tomes of dark secrets. So the Grey Knights sent in a strike force to go stop them and prevent them from continuing with their nefarious plans. So that is the story. The mission we are going to be playing is Forgotten Data. Essentially, we've got 4 objectives on the board here. And what happens is your victory conditions for this is at the end of each battle round, you score a victory point for each of these that you do. So if you control 1 or more objective markers, you get a victory point. If you control 2 or more objective markers, you get an additional victory point. And if you control more objective markers than your opponent, then you score an additional victory point for a maximum of 9 victory points over the course of the 4 rounds. Then you have the arena objectives, which we have taken that are held in secret until they are scored. So that is going to be it for the mission and the story. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Grey Knights, my kill team will consist of, from left to right, a leader who's a Justicar with a Force Halberd. We then have a heavy specialist who is my Grey Knight gunner with a silencer. I then have a combat specialist, which is a Grey Knight with a force sword. And then I've got a demolitions expert, which is a Terminator with an incinerator and a force sword. So for the Thousand Sons, his kill team will consist of, from left to right here, an aspiring sorcerer as his leader. We then have a rubric gunner who has a soul reaper cannon, who's the demolitions expert. We have a veteran specialist who is a rubric marine with an infernal boat gun and the icon of flame. We have a twist bray who is the combat specialist over there with a chainsword and a gun. We then have a Brayhorn and 4 more Zangors. All right, so going over deployment, I've got my combat specialist and my leader over at this door. I've got my demolitions expert and my heavy specialist over here at this door. That's it for the Grey Knights. Going over deployment for the Thousand Sons, he's got his combat specialist. He's got his Zangor right up against the door there. He's got his demolitions expert in the front there. He's got his leader back over this side, along with another Zangor. We've got 2 more Zangors. We've got his twist bray. Oh no, Brayhorn, sorry, not twist bray, Brayhorn. And then we've got the veteran specialist with the mark of icon of flame right there in front of the door. So that's deployment. We will now roll off to see who has initiative going into turn 1. I roll a 9, my opponent rolled a 6, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Grey Knights. All right, movement phase for the Grey Knights here on turn 1. My leader here opened the door, and this guy, my combat specialist, advanced out onto the objective over here. My heavy specialist opened the door here. My demolitions expert advanced up towards the door over there. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the movement phase for the Thousand Sons. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Sons here. This Zangor and this Brayhorn opened the doors. His combat specialist stayed still. His demolitions expert moved up over here. His aspiring sorcerer advanced over there. His Zangor here advanced. This Zangor advanced. This rubric marine advanced up over here, and this Zangor advanced over here. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We are not going to have any. We're not going to have any shooting because there's doors closed and no one's got some line of sight here. We're not going to have any fight phase, no psychic phase, none of that going on here. So that's going to be the end of the turn here. My opponent did score. He did score domination because at the end of the battle round he does have more models from his kill team within 3 inches of the center than I do because he's got that one guy that ran up over there, which is pretty good there. So that is going to be it for the turn. No psychic, nothing to do there. So now we're just going to roll to see who will have initiative going into turn 2. Oh, we do score. Each of us do control 2 objectives, which gives us 2 points each for that. So we're tied at 2-2. Well, I guess my opponent's up 3-2 at this point because of scoring that 1 secondary there. So now we're going to roll off to see who has initiative going into turn 2. My opponent rolls an 8. I rolled a 7. So we'll come back to you after Thousand Suns movement phase here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns. His veteran specialist and his Zangor over here both moved up. This Zangor opened up the door looking down the aisle here. This Zangor over here advanced up around here. The Brayhorn advanced up along the wall over here. His demolitions expert readied himself. His this combat specialist advanced himself up over there, and his aspiring sorcerer moved up against the door over there, still within range of that objective. And these guys back over here, one guy advanced to it, the other guy just moved up to it, hiding behind the door over here. So that is going to be it for the movement phase for the Thousand Suns. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Grey Knights. All right, so movement phase for the Grey Knights here. My leader readied himself. My heavy specialist moved up into the doorway over here, looking down the hallway. My demolitions expert moved up over here, and he's going to try to open the door, but on a 5-up, he's going to try to deny me over there. So, or do you want to just let it happen? You're going to try to deny it? Here we go, 5-up. No, so that door is open there. And then my combat specialist is going to charge into his veteran specialist and the Zangor over here. So Overwatch from them. We'll go with the bolter first. Inferno bolter.
Rapido.
6s.
Rapido.
Getting 1 hit. So that's strength 4. So 4s to wound. No wound there. And then we've got the pistol from him. No hit there. So his charge distance is definitely in with double fill phases. And that's it for the movement phase. So into the psychic phase. At the beginning of the psychic phase, he does his the icon of flame on a 6-up. It does a mortal wound. No there. But you do get to do your psychic first since you have initiative. So he is going to cast into my dude bro over here, looking for Psybolt. Yep. That does go off. I am going to try to deny it for sure. Here we go. 8 to your 9 does not stop it. So that is going to go off. So he will take a mortal wound. And now he's going to cast Psybolt onto him. That will go off with a 6 because I get +1.
Are you sure?
Let's see. No, that will stop it. And then my second one's going to be him into the Zangor over here. That will also go off. So that's just going to be 1 mortal wound into him. I don't think he can be stopped there. So injury roll. And on a 5, he's out. All right, so now this guy over here is going to fire into my demolitions expert. 3 to hit. Gotcha. That is a hit. Strength 4, toughness 4, so 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP -2, so he'd have a 4-up save there. And with that, he's good. Woo! All right, so now my dude bro here is going to fire his incinerator into him over there. So it's going to be D6 auto hits. That's going to be 4 auto hits. These are going to be strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds at AP -1. So 3 4-up saves. Makes 2 of them, fails 1. Does he only have 1 wound?
Yeah,
but you're going to spend a CP to reroll that. All right. Opponent's going to spend a CP to reroll that.
There we go.
Into a 5, he's good to go. So now my heavy specialist here with the silencer is going to fire into his Zangor over there. Hitting on 5s because he's obstructed and at long range here. So 5s to hit. Getting 2 hits there. These are going to be strength 4, toughness 4. So looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP nothing. 2 5-up invul saves.
I already burned
1. Makes 1, fails 1. So it's going to be D3 damage.
Don't die.
3 damage. So this is going to be 3 injury rolls here. And on that 6 and a 5, he is out of action.
Far away.
And that scores me death from afar here. So killing a model that is at long range. Pretty cool. And now my dude bro over here with the my combat specialist is going to have 2 attacks into him over here. 1 base plus 1 because of being a combat specialist. These are going to be hitting on 3s in the fight phase. Getting 1 hit. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that. Okay. Wah, wah, wah. All right, and here we go. Strength 4, toughness 4 into him over there. That is a wound with a fill face. This is going to be AP, 1 second. All right, so it's going to be D3 wounds, so he doesn't get all his dust, so it's going to be a 5-up invul save over here. Does not make it there, so it's going to be D3 damage. 2 damage, so that'll take him down to 0. Does he get out? On the 4, he's out of action. All right, so that is going to be the end of the turn there. We do not have any morale test to take over here. And at the end of the turn, we both control 2 objectives still, so we'll each get 2 points for that. I also scored a point for attrition, since at the end of the battle round, more enemies were out of action than I was. And were taken out of action than my guys were taken out of action, and my opponent scores another one for domination, controlling that center over there. So pretty good. So that is going to be the end of turn 2. So now we will roll off to see who will have turn 3 initiative. I rolled a 5. My opponent rolled a 6. So we'll come. Oh no, 6 to 6. No. What I was saying there. Reroll that. Reroll it. All right, 7 to 7. Okay, keep rolling. That is going to be 8 to 6, so my opponent will go first. Thousand Suns coming at ya. All right, moving phase for the Thousand Suns. This guy moved into the corner over here. This guy moved up around here to open up the door. He moved over here, staying within 2 inches of the objective. This combat specialist moved up onto the objective, and now his sorcerer is aspiring sorcerer is going to charge into my demos expert. So I'm going to fire my incinerator here. So D6 hits, 4 hits. These are going to be strength 6, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds at AP -1, so 4 ups. Failing 2 of them, so he's only got the 1 wound there, so that's going to take him down to 0. 1 second. All right, so here comes the injury roll. On a 3, it would be a flesh wound. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that. Into a 1, so he still takes a flesh wound. But now he gets to try to charge into me.
That's awesome.
Here he goes.
Devil's Gambit.
And he's in. All right, movement phase for the for the Grey Knights here. I moved back over this way, staying in view of him, and he's out of line of sight for those guys. This guy readied himself. He moved up over here to get a line of sight onto him, and he had to stay in combat. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, starting off, his sorcerer is going to try to sidebolt me in the face over here. That is not going to go off. My opponent's going to spend a CP to re-roll that.
What's that?
Yes, both dice. So the full roll and kill team. And a 6 will go off. I will now try to deny it. I need to roll a 6 because I get +1 as a Grey Knight. I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll that. And there we go. It is denied. So I'm going to do it right back at him over there. That is not going to go off, and it's going to perils. And I already spent my re-roll. So he's going to take a wound there, which puts him at 0. So now I'm going to have to roll his injury test here. On a 3, he takes a flesh wound. Ugh. And then he's going to use Cybold onto him over here.
Yeah, he's yours now.
That's going to go off. So he takes the flesh, to see if he takes a flesh wound. No, he is out of action.
Oh, he shoots on.
All right, so into the shooting phase now. His Zangor here is going to fire into my heavy guy. He is obscured there, so it's becoming a 5 to hit. No hit. And now my heavy is going to return the favor, hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Ignoring the penalty for moving with heavy because he's got the heavy specialism. So that's 2 hits. This is strength 4, so 4s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound at AP nothing. So he's got his regular save here. 5 up invul, right? And he's good. All right, so that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, we're both going to be spending 2 points for decisive strikes. See who gets to go first. My opponent does with a 7. Come back with that. All right, so his aspiring sorcerer is going to go first over here. He's going to have 2 attacks hitting on 3s. Has 2 hits, strength 6, so wounding on 3s. Getting 1 wound.
Can I?
You can spend it. Yeah, it's different phase. You're going to spend a CP to re-roll that.
I'm doing it.
Into 2 wounds over there. AP -1, so I've got 2 3-up saves. And I make them both. Woo! All right, so now my demolitions expert's going to attack back over there. 2 attacks hitting on 3s because both of us ignore it with transhuman physiology over there, ignoring our flesh wounds here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4, so 4s to wound. That's going to be 1 wound. I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll this one. Nope, not going to work there. So that's going to be 1 at AP -3, so it's 5 up invul save. No, that's going to go through. D3 damage. Oh, only 1 damage though. +1 to this roll though because of the flesh wound he has. And on that 6, he's out. And then I consolidate over there. So that is going to be the end of the turn here. My opponent has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4 still in. So he does have to roll to see if he is broken in the morale phase now, because you have 5 of your 9 kill team is out here. So who has the highest leadership of these guys here? Who has the highest leadership of your guys?
The Rubric Marines.
Okay, so the Rubric Gunner over there. So we have to roll to see if you are broken, because you only got 4 left there. So we'll come back with that. All right, so we're going to be rolling for leadership 7 to see if he's broken. And on an 8, he is broken. So we're going to roll for his nerve test here. Well, not necessarily nerve yet, because that's the squad's broken. So now they have to roll to see it. So we'll just kind of go along this way. So we'll start with this guy over here. All right, fine. Start over there. Sure. You have to roll for see if you got a nerve test.
Is 7.
He's got a 7 there. So he's got 5 guys out. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So he will be shaken. And then we've got this guy is, you said 7 as well. So 7. So 5 plus 6 is going to be shaken over here. This Zangor over here.
He's on a 6.
He's got a 6. So 5 plus 3 is shaken. And then this guy over here,
Same thing.
the last one, is also shaken. So everyone's going to be shaken on his team there.
That. Do not get that.
Do have a my guy has a flesh wound, but I've got nobody out, so I cannot fail my leadership there. So at the end of the turn, I control 3 objectives, which gives me 2 points for controlling 2 or more, and an additional point for having more than my opponent, because he doesn't actually control these since they are shaken. Yep. He also doesn't score the 3rd domination point because he's shaken as well. And then I also score another one for attrition because more of his models than mine were taken out of action there. But I didn't get any more death from afar. So at the end of this turn, I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points to my opponent's 2, 4, 6 points. So we will come back to you. Now we will roll for turn 4, see who has initiative. He will have initiative, but he can't do any movement. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Grey Knights. All right, so movement phase for the Grey Knights. He moved over here, staying on the objective. He readied himself, staying on that objective. And my heavy guy readied himself over here. This guy moved back here, so he's just outside of 4 inches of him. And that is going to be it for the movement phase. And now we're just going to move straight into the psychic phase. So we'll start with my combat specialist over here, psyching into his Dubra over there. That will go off. So let's see if he's out of action. On a 4, he is not, because it would be +1 over there. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then my heavy specialist is also going to try to psych him. That will go off. Injury roll, a 1, so he'll take a flesh wound as well. So we're going to start with, in the shooting phase, him, incinerator into him. Only getting that 1 hit into him over there. Strength 6, toughness 4, so 3 to wound. That is a wound with a fill phase AP -1, so he's just got his 5 up. No, that's going to go through. So here comes the injury roll. On a 3, I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll that. Into a 4, he's out of action. And that will get me my 2nd death from afar. And now my heavy specialist is going to fire into him, hitting on 4s because of the obstruction. Alrighty, so that's going to be 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. 5 up invul saves on this guy over here.
2 wounds?
Yes. Makes them both. And then my combat specialist is going to fire his storm bolter into him over there. That is going to be 1 hit. That is going to be a wound. Just going to be a regular save. With a 6, he's good.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll for him.
Alrighty, so that's going to be the end of the turn here. So we're going to go into the final morale phase here. My opponent's going to spend 1 CP for insane bravery on him to have him be okay, and then he's going to try to get it on him here. So he needs to roll a 1 for this one. Does, and he is good to go.
Another point right
and then
there.
we've got this guy over here that's also going to roll. No, he is out. Spend the CP to re-roll that. Why not? No.
Nah.
So he is going to be shaken over there. But that's going to be the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, I control 1, 2, 3. I just control 2 objectives. I'm sorry. That guy fell back out of there. But my opponent controls 1 objective. So I score another 3 points for the primary, but my opponent scores 1 point for his primary. He also scores the 3rd point for domination over there. And I score the 3 points for the specific mission arena objective that is, which is data recovery. At the end of the mission, score 3 victory points if there's at least 1 objective marker that you have controlled at the end of every battle round. He's just sat there the entire game, sitting on that objective, holding that one for 3 points there. So, and my opponent has failed scout the field and failed bounty hunters there. So, at the end of the game, I scored a total of 6. I guess the maxed out at 9 objective victory points for the primary. And I scored 2 for death from afar, bringing me to 11. There was a 3rd turn of attrition since I killed a model and nothing fell off of mine. So that was 3 points for that. So that was 14 points, and then 3 points for that one. So 17 total victory points for me there, which is really good. And then my opponent scored 2, 4, 5 for the primary. And he scored 3 for his for domination with a total of 8. So a brutal game. Arena is super tough for low model count. I needed the things to go my way, and they did. So my first turn needed to be super aggressive. I needed to get out into places, which is what I did. Luckily, getting him with his awesome advanced roll, getting onto the objective there to get me that 2nd point that first turn was super key. And then just being able to hold on for dear life is basically what it all came down to at the end there for the Grey Knights. But a ton of fun. Always fun to throw some psychic shenanigans at each other back and forth. So man, I'm surprised that Terminator survived. He kept doing everything he could to die to that sorcerer. So, but yeah, a ton of fun. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek. As always, my opponent's been Neil, and until next time, have fun.